any more forward position in this B site yet, so there's a decent chance for RRQ to try to reply.
Yeah, they're got just enough space. No Sage available for either team to really feel comfortable, so you use that wingman instead. Put those plants down safely.
4v5 attempt here for the retake. Aaron down to 48 health. RRQ still just waiting for that rejoin to come in here from Blue Clips, and he's got a decent amount of util to use. GEN.G now can find himself on the board, gets locked in. Munchkin's going to be taken down. Karen still trying to hold things down at back yellow. It's only going to be good for one more kill, and now Texture has been noted. The spike is not planted for him, and he needs to go huge, but he's only going to be able to find one. GEN.G picks up 3 here in his debut in VCT Pacific and gets RRQ the pistol round win.
Yeah, what an escape from GEN.G after a great read by Gen.G. Munchkin, by the way, this is his 4th ever game on KO. I had to go look because I'm like, you know, Munchkin's not really much of a KO guy. He's played more games on Phoenix in official matches than he has on KO. So kind of an interesting little tidbit there, but yeah, GEN.G, this is kind of the guy you're expecting here for RRQ. This is why you went and picked him up off of Scars when he had that impressive performance all throughout last year, and in particular at Ascension. And he is a tremendous duelist, unfazed in the face of adversity, as we saw at Ascension.
Plenty of noise there, and so that's going to be the Dizzy going out. Nope. Once again, just going to be making his exit, gets a smattering of damage across. Lockheed going to be knocked down to 60. Both just kind of going their separate ways here. As Estrella pulling back over towards screens. Texture wary about this pushing. Yep, GEN.G catching a glimpse there for a brief little moment. There's the dash across. Lockheed going to be taken down. That recon dart spotting absolutely everybody here on the side of Gen.G. So they are very halted up, and the spike is stranded. It's going to take some miracles here to get Gen.G into this round and try to equalize the scoreline. GEN.G finding himself another one there. Texture going to be taken out. Dart getting the tag, just forcing Meteor all the way back. As it seems like they're going to have to push in eventually. Munchkin able to find one. Flipshider going to be taken down. Meteor just waiting, trying to see if he can spot, if he can hear anything. He's right on top of a player, but just has no way of knowing. Potential damage certainly can be dealt,
30
though.
seconds left.
As now he dashes across, rushes up. Still barely manages to get the shot there. Only more will get taken down, but Xfero able to push forward with that Spectre in hand and just mow down the remaining players.
Yep, solid hold here from RRQ. A couple nice Sheriff shots come through. You know, Munchkin, one of those players who has tremendous mechanics along with Meteor. Not going to be on duelists and still doing some damage and losing. You know, on this eco, you'd really love to get this plant down, but with Lakia going down early, obviously Gecko is going to be your primary
about this
plant specialist. Not able to get the spike. Not able to get that little bit of extra money and utility for the side of Gen.G. Able to keep one Vandal, a couple Spectres. Gonna try maybe a mid push here.
Oh, big rush coming through, and distracted by the alarm bot. Elmymore just domes Texture.
Of course.
Didn't want to take the risk with the vulnerable, but the vulnerable didn't matter. You get just absolutely coup de grace there.
It's an instant upgrade to the Vandal as well for Elmymore, but that guy, I mean, last year with the Sheriffs.
There's no covering fire here for Flipshider.
Oh boy.
Oh, it's going to be the timing, and now it's going to swing around there from Lakia. Easy pickup. Just even up the numbers a bit.
This is, again, good for Gen.G. They can get to this point. RRQ losing one of the kind of power positions potentially over the site.
I believe Xfero's actually trying to challenge into that one, given the weapon disadvantage. Still is going for it, Dizzy. The pop flash going out, but Elmymore managing to find 3, takes out Lakia and Karen before falling. Now it's just Meteor left standing. Fight at the ready. Sends it down back yellow. Swing out, Meteor going to be good for 1, but with 17 HP and GEN.G having the range advantage with the Vandal, there's just nothing to be done, and it's RRQ. 3 rounds consecutively, they convert the bonus.
Yeah, looking really stalwart here, and Elmymore shined often in 2023, picking up right where he left off. 7-0 now for GEN.G as well in 3 rounds. Absolutely monstrous start, 1 away from a Blade Storm already. Elmymore 2 away from a lockdown. Now Gen.G going to go for Stingers and Sheriffs. Try to see if they can make this A-hit work. Some changes here to Icebox, of course, as the desk was talking about earlier today, which feels like an eternity ago, but we're back at it. And some important changes, but the A side itself has not really changed at all. In fact, it hasn't changed in the slightest. So This part of the map looks familiar.
He's just a hair away, and
Ready.
yep, that's why I got picked up. 8-0, GEN.G just ripping them to shreds. On the hunt for more. Pops the dash before it burns out. Start up over the top, looking to try to clear that. Dizzy still does get flashed, but now Flipshider picking up one. Lucky gonna be taken down. GEN.G will find another kill as Texture will fall. Heard the drop down, and Munchkin will be able to convert that into a kill, putting GEN.G in the grave for the first time here in the map. Things start getting very messy. Karan now, though, the ranked demon, the one that was picked up by GEN.G that no one saw coming, gets the third and final kill to get GEN.G on the board in a thrifty round.
And we saw this at Convergence, that once he started to get fired up, he was basically online for the rest of the event. Karan, man, he is an absolute potential prodigy in the making. He is really, really clean with his shooting, and you could see right there, he's able to get GEN.G their first win despite some really difficult circumstances. That also gets him the Viper's Pit. Munchkin has the null command as well, so a lot of interesting ults to play around with.
Now, Knives now popping. Sparrow with a great read. Sprays up on top of the box and does manage to get a lot of damage across on the Texture. Elmi Moore in the meantime saying, hey, Meteor, I know you're new to this role, but I was kind of one of the Killjoy kings of last season.
And he snuck up through mid there to get that kill, so nicely done by Elmi Moore.
Do they read Xpharaoh has he's repositioned here? Because this would be fairly aggressive. It looks like they were not ready for it, but now they swing around in from behind. But Elmi Moore and GEN.G have arrived, and blink and you miss it. The rug pulled out from beneath GEN.G's feet.
I mean, RRQ is happy to take these fights on B. Elmi Moore is just absolutely impossible to get through. Him and Xpharaoh are doing a phenomenal job of just shutting down these pushes that GEN.G is trying to dial up. And once GEN.G arrives, then it's game over. It's not ready at all as Munchkin for that position. Oh my goodness.
It just felt like GEN.G at all wasn't ready for the fast rotates in from RRQ.
No, not at all. You're absolutely right. I mean, RRQ is just sensing that these seem to be fairly static hits from GEN.G. They're trying to dial up some executes to just get themselves onto the sites. They're not even getting to that point most of the time.
Dizzy, flash drive sent out just to try to escort them forward up towards this nest. Decent firepower, 3 Sheriffs plus that Blade Storm there for Texture. But with a lot of silence from that A site. Once again, GEN.G kind of falling into this pattern of rotating back over towards the B site.
Yeah, so this is good. I was going to say at the beginning of this round that I'd really like to see GEN.G do a little bit of a bait and switch. Use that Gecko utility to buy a little of extra time to keep RRQ onto the other side and then shift over, because pretty much you always know that the Gecko is going to be the one sitting with that spike.
But again, I mean, you see how slowly they're starting to approach this when they send up that 0 point, but then they really grind it to a halt. Rotations are in position. They're just waiting on Meteor to report whether or not he spots anything, to see if they want to try to rotate back, but they're running out of time to do so. Xpharaoh will make his presence known. Top rope, sending out that bite, and yep, that's going to be the rotations now coming in. And this time RRQ, they're not privy to it.
And there's no ability to gather info here, except for Flips. Has that Thrash. Now trying to buy a little bit of time, keeping that Duelist on the other side.
Quick clear on that recon, but with those Sheriff shots coming through from Meteor, it seems like RRQ now realizing what the play actually is. Wingman goes forward. That's going to be the Thrash coming in to try to find a lockdown. Does jump forward, manages to get the Detain onto one as Texture drifting across. The instant headshot is found. He will shut down Elmi Moore. Estrella, however, now arriving, finds Karan, ends up getting taken down, but GEN.G still very much a concern here for GEN.G in this post plant. But now Thrash going forward, looking to chase in, but they manage to clear it out. Meteor with the Sheriff in hand, finding one. Flip shot at the last man standing. Player decently tagged up, but now a knife into his shoulder. The swing onto the corner, and Texture is good for a second as GEN.G get their second round win and their second thrifty.
Yeah, great utilization of their utility here.
Stop buying rifles.
Yeah, you don't need them.
You'll win the game.
They're good enough with the Sheriffs, dog. Yeah, who cares? Just screw it. I mean, that's, God, Texture.
Snappy.
Yeah, and I mean, I think for Texture, you know, for him, he really wanted to go back to Duelist. I mean, Meteor, look, the guy's got gun skill, that's for sure. He's got that in spades. He was the Duelist carry for GEN.G last year. This year, shifting over to that Sentinel role more often than not, and he's still got plenty of talent. That is an absolute fact. Still a lot of ults for Gen.G as well here in this rifle round. Let's see if they can use them.
Ooh, Jumpkin again, getting blinded, but manages to exit. Flip shot now caught. Moving up under Nest towards Great. Trying to get that flank angle, but Meteor was ready for it. Shuts that down. Gecko now gone. A hell of a lot of utility lost here for RRQ in this defense. There's still so many ults to work with on the side of Gen.G if they even feel the need to invest them here.
You got that flank coming from xFaroe potentially. Here you go, counter.
Lockdown for lockdown.
Yeah, counter lockdowns gonna be employed. Munchkin on that no command still yet, and you have Charon's ult, so a lot of post plant. Oh, we saw him.
He faces away.
Oh, did you not see him?
No, he didn't see him. He turned away just before xFaroe was gonna round the corner. Still though, he started taking his time, so isn't ready to strike. He's gonna rely on the rest of his teammates to be able to stave this off, slow down Gen.G for a bit, but also keep their attention occupied towards the front of the site. He's going out, Charon able to find one, Texture taking down Jumpkin. Texture finding a second. Now it's all on that flank.
30 seconds left.
Smoked off the turret.
Spike planted.
Probably have a decent idea.
Munchkin's ready for this though. Yeah. We'll be able to shut him down. Gen.G able to go ahead and just win a straight up rifle round for the first time in the game. Now are within touching distance of RRQ, whose lead has now shrunk down by just one round.
And this is what's so scary about this Gen.G team is top to bottom, just outrageous amounts of firepower. And this round, they're finally able to kind of get themselves in a position where they can really use this utility to great effect. You know, earlier when they had a couple of these ults available, they just weren't even able to get to the point of attack because it was so well shut down by Elmimore and xFaroe on the other side of the map. But now, trying to pick this A side apart, and I suspect that Ewok wants to take a little bit of a breather here and talk things over.
A nice little proactive timeout here from the side of RRQ. Ewok seeing these rounds getting away from them, seeing some of the overheat, overzealousness on some of these defensive rounds, so wants to try to intervene now. Everybody cool, calm, and collected. Having this map get away from them could end up very well being catastrophic, given that this is their map pick. They're the ones feeling the most confident coming into this icebox. I don't know if they expected to have a damn near mirrored composition on the opposite side. I mean, if, you know, for context, none of the partner teams, at least here in Pacific, have been scrimming each other whatsoever.
Correct.
So everybody going in relatively blind as far as what their opponents are going to be bringing to the table.
And not only that, Achilleos, RRQ hasn't played a single match in the offseason. We have no idea what they had in store for us. We got to see a little bit of Gen.G.
Yeah.
But this is certainly surprising. I mean, I thought maybe somebody would still stick with a Sage at least potentially because the sights didn't change. Oh my.
Sure, again going for it, but I mean, RRQ kind of just opting to play this one out a bit more quietly, but the lurk does get spotted, as does xFaroe. So the sneaky tactics, unfortunately here for RRQ, not going to be coming up with a profit for them. 0 point, identifying there's nobody else further forward, so swing on the corner. The wingman can go ahead and get the plant down.
Let's see, there's a Guardian for Jumpkin. Nothing doing with those shock darts. A little bit too late to stop the plant.
Straight swing out, there's another Dizzy up in the air looking for the blinds. Get the clear out and hole, Lakia. He did get that tag, so straight out down, low on HP. Flip shutter picked off by Texture. Spots him, and there you go. 1-2, great final shot. We'll find him, and it's going to be 3 kills for Texture as well. A flawless round now as Gen.G continuing to heat up.
Yeah, big smiles there. As Gen.G starting to dial it in a little bit. B-side has gotten a lot more difficult for the attackers with the change in those boxes on green, and they're still able to finally get it to work here. They've been shut down really well by RRQ for the first couple rounds, but now able to best them. RRQ decides to push a little bit further than we had seen them do early on in that round, and they paid the price. I mean, of course, it's an eco, so, you know, not the biggest of deals, but now Jumpkin with an operator. Still Charon with that pit, man. He's been sitting on that for a while.
Goal set there. Cloud burst into the updraft. Avoid the pop flash coming through from Munchkin. Gen.G tackling this A site very aggressively. Stray going to be forced off the angle, and hit comes in. Texture able to find Elmimore. Dark darts, bit too late there. As I believe Texture was spotted. Full flash coming in, straight playing off the back of that one. Very nicely, he's able to collect the kill, brings it back into a 4v4. Pit available, but you see how far back they're playing, so it seems like Gen.G not wanting to invest that ultimate here into the round, but xFaroe certainly could for the retake. But no, actually, they're just going to take the fight to him. Meteor and Lockheed now both going to get picked apart. You're dropping down, swings out, can't adjust to try to get the kill. Looking for the spray there is Munchkin to try and stop the defuse, but RRQ will be able to find some stability, and they don't have to commit their ultimates to this retake.
Yeah, that one felt a bit disjointed from Gen.G. Texture so far out there without any real help to bail him out off of that flash push from RRQ. Just stuck on the other end of the site. And you know, it's deep post plants for Gen.G, and RRQ says, cool story, why didn't you use your pit? Like, we're just gonna push this space, shut you down from being able to use anything like snake bites, fragments, those kind of things that are gonna be available in the post plant scenarios for Gen.G. Just rip that remaining strength out from underneath them. Blade Storm again for Texture. Still the pits, and now another thrash for Flips.
Jemkin.
Oh, Jemkin.
Yep, going on a merry walkabout down through Hall. But I mean, look at this close angle. Meteor is watching for this, and that one very nicely barrel first. Kill brings it back. Oh, it's a dizzy, and yeah, Meteor ready for that one. Trap was set and bait taken. Fantastic kill to shut down Jemkin, who got himself up to 12 kills, but hasn't been able to add any to the tally here in a while. Flips now trying to defend that dizzy, but Meteor just pushes forward, counts him down. Texture spots it straight up. They're on back rafters. Plant now coming in. Only more work to be done. Just getting started nicely. They're going to be taken down. That's a snake bite aspect eliminated here from the post plant. 0 Point not going to be spotting anything, but seems like, I mean, they're aware that Meteor is in between them with that catch coming through. RRQ, do they want to commit to the retake? Seems like the answer likely to be yes, or maybe just a wraparound from behind. They want to try to catch any exits, it would seem, and recover the operator. Okay, so that's going to be Gen.G tying it up.
This is Meteor just reading that play so well. Had himself in a nice position to play off of that dizzy.
Lakia is wandering in towards this. xFaroe, good for the shot. Thinking it hurt a little bit more, but the purse string's not too tight here for Gen.G. Plenty of cash still in the bank as they tie things up 5-5. I mean, these teams just inseparable in the season, constantly clashing, and it seems like they're going to be inseparable in the scoreline here as well.
And so much of it, you know, last year was their fates intertwined, right? Leading down to that ending. You know, for the fate of RRQ within Gen.G's hand, you know, things like that came up, and they just absolutely insane. And their face off in LCQ.
On my way.
Just really a great story that we have between these two teams, and already living up to expectations. I mean, this one certainly felt like a 3-mapper from the get-go. Yeah, gonna have to back up a little bit as xFaroe. No opportunity to get any real vision necessarily on the full and the full forces of Gen.G that are going to be coming through towards B. Pings are out, but now you've got Flips sliding over here. Meteor back tucked into that corner.
You end up seeing a bit of a thrash v thrash. xFaroe actually pushing forward. Does get a little bit of fake information fed over here to Gen.G, but now that they clear around back yellow, they know that he wasn't playing forward. I like the attempt, though.
Great delay here, though, from RRQ. Preventing this plant.
Oh, my God!
My God.
Meteor. Holy hell.
Jeez, man.
Snaps on, shuts down Flip Shadow. That means that the thrash here for RRQ is completely out of the picture. Flash coming in. Elmymore out into the open. Texture able to scoop the kill and finds himself a second one, eliminating xFaroe as well. Straight up does manage to stand tall. Shuts down the enemy jet, but given that the operator is still in the hands here of Jemkin, just going to have to wait this one out and allow for Gen.G to get themselves up to 6.
Yeah, it's got to be a save. If you want to keep the op. You have enough for rifles for sure. You might even have enough for another op, but
Elmymore sitting on 32.
Yeah.
Really avoiding getting the spot there onto Estrella. Jemkin just underneath the Meteor here, who looks like he's very hungry to take that op out of his hands. On the hunt, the swing around, he spotted him. He is not going to be able to retain that one whatsoever. Plank now coming in, and Estrella not going to be able to find anything else. Meteor gets himself a third in that round. As RRQ losing everything and losing the lead.
And I mean, you think back to who it was that ended, you know, the LCQ and RRQ's VCT last year. Obviously it was Gen.G, but Meteor was a big part of it. And he is showing up in a big way. Different role, different agent. Still having tons of impact. He is all over the mid part of this map, just causing so much disruption. It's so hard when you've got a player that deep into kitchen.
Oh,
Texture's got the op.
they have 3 ops.
Why not?
Texture, Lockya, and Meteor all have ops, and Texture gets the flick to shut down GEN.G. What a shot!
This is interesting. Tons of ults to work with. Charon still has the pit.
My goodness. The flicks just in the last 2 rounds have been astounding.
Well, this is why I am the lone Gen.G believer today. It's the firepower in this team is just outrageous. Texture, I've said this before and I'll say it again, I think one of the most balanced duelists in the world. He can do a lot of things really well. He's not one of those guys who has like a calling card where he's just a great opper, he's great blade storms. He's just really good at all of it. And other than that one time he overextended, I think he's playing great.
0 point revealing nobody far forward here, as that's going to be the Thrash to go and check the site. Sparrow just tucking back on the opposite side of the wall. There's a jump up over the top, makes his presence known, managing to find 1, gets a second before getting taken down by Munchkin. He gives the rest of his team a chance. The 3v3, Spike still in the hands of Lockya, the wingman at the ready. Sends it down, the pop flash timing looking good, but Elwymore still full flash, managing to find the kill, and he stops the plant, and he gets Munchkin to boot. The Thrash chasing, it gets the stun. Meteor detained. It's only going to last a little bit longer here as they try to flush him out. I thought maybe he was going to be able to redraw his weapon, but no. They will just wall bang him to death, and RRQ will be able to recover here. Picking up multiple rounds there over to Gen.G, but it's 6 and 6.5.
What more could you ask for? Just 2 phenomenal teams going back and forth. Maybe a little bit of a kind of miscalculation here from Gen.G, thinking that 3 ops, sure, why not? We've got a ton of great oppers on this team. I mean, you got Meteor and Texture, of course. They're quite good. Munchkin's no slouch. A lot of great players on that team who can grab an op and do some damage, but didn't really befuddle RRQ too much, able to stop that plant, bailing each other out, even though the flash displaces, I believe it was Elwymore, but they're able to back him up right away. Now we switch sides. Now we really see, with these very, very similar comps, if RRQ do a little bit better on their attacker side, or if it's going to be Gen.G's defender side that holds stalwart.
25 more seconds here for the coaching staff to calm with the team. Try to gain some leads here going into the second half. Solid start for RRQ, but a great rally back. Gen.G very much alive and well. And if they're going to keep hitting shots like we just witnessed from them, this could be a very bloody second half.
Oh, yeah. I mean, it's just been a phenomenal first half. Texture, 15 and 8.
Oh, yeah. I mean, we saw Gen.G, he got up with 12-3.
Yep.
And that impact just hasn't been seen. Gen.G were doing so well to shut him down and just play around him, if not away from him. Now they shift over to that defending side. RRQ going to be trying their hands here on the attack. Let's see what they've got prepped for us.
Munchkin is spraying through here. Again, the defenders have a little bit of extra room to get some good angles there. You can even do a high-low off a yellow. It can see really deep down in towards the attacker side. So for now, though, it's going to be cleared out as there was only 1 player over here. It's Munchkin. You have a deep push through mid, didn't make any contact, so an immediate rotate back over.
They're just cutting their way in under tube. Shots going up top, trying to spot anything that they possibly can. Lockya was revealed there for a brief little moment. Now the wingman flank going to be coming through inside the poison orb. His own wingman going to be sent out just to try to get a daze off, but nothing to be found. So for now, fairly clean plant here from the side of RRQ. As pop flash timing is absolutely gorgeous. No way for Jeff to turn from that one, but Flipshider swings out, managing to find 2, keeping things nice and even. 3v3, slight firepower diff here in the hands of Gen.G. It's Meteor with that Sheriff, manages to put the good use, coming up with the kill on Estrella. Can't find anything. Sparrow doing his damnedest. Finds two more, but Meteor will be the last one alive. And gets the defuse, tying up the pistol count and giving Gen.G the lead once more.
A huge hold, but RRQ committing to this B hit from the get-go. And again, with all that information that Gen.G is able to gather with their mid-push down through the tunnel, too hard. What a beautiful flash, by the way, from Munchkin. Just absolutely pinpoint accurate to set Texture up for that first kill. And Meteor with a Sheriff there to finish the job. Valiant attempt to hold, and now Texture is going to be grabbing an Outlaw. Munchkin with the Guardian. Meteor with the Sheriff still. Karen Spectre. Bulldog for Lakia. So a diverse array of arsenal for Gen.G, and immediately taking some damage trying to get that recon off. Great shot.
Okay, Texture. The only other players that we've had bringing that Outlaw into the fold, and puts it to very good use. Great answering shot though. Elmi Moore has always been fairly crisp when it comes down to those Sheriff shots, but this time Texture will be able to get the better of him.
I wouldn't be too surprised today as it rolls on if we see Meteor going for a few Outlaws himself. He's quite good with the Marshall, as we saw many times over the last couple of years.
Could very well do, but it seems like even knowing that this weapon is on this side of the map, they still want to try to play into a site. There are 3 players stacked up ready to greet them. Dizzy up over the top. Flash not connecting, and Texture gets the collat. Our first one so far here of the season. Jemkin now, last man standing, does recover a Bulldog. Finds himself in a 1v2. Spike stranded down behind him, 30 seconds remaining. Can he even isolate these fights? Can he predict it? No, he cannot. And we'll take him out. Weapons can be picked up. And that's going to be Gen.G taking away that anti-eco. But now we go into the buy round here for RRQ to see if they can get back on the horse.
Yeah, I mean, all things considered, this is not a bad round for RRQ at all. Able to take some big guns away from Gen.G, do some pretty decent damage. Texture. Some huge kills, of course. The collat for the 4K. Absolutely ridiculous.
You can tell he wanted the ace.
Yeah.
He's trying to make it happen. Not this time, though. He's trying to take a forward position. A little bit of a leap there out of Jemkin's book, but plenty of covering fire. And what is that? Texture! You can't be doing this!
It's not fair, man. That is not fair.
Invested, diving forward, looking for the jump there. It's going to be Lakia and Texture getting swept under the rug. Man advantage now here into the hands of RRQ, but again, just given that this is the bonus, Gen.G, any more damage they could deal even with a round loss is still going to be feeling pretty decent for them, as everything grinds to a halt.
Munchkin pushed so far forward.
Boys cut. They check up over the top. No, they do not. The flash timing is absolutely perfect. Munchkin looked like maybe he was still going to be able to come away with something there despite the flash, but that's take it down. Spot there on Elmi Moore for a brief little moment, but a great read from RRQ. They start assessing, they start spraying through the box. They get that kill across.
Meteor got a tag in there. Get some damage.
Now in. Okay, Meteor on the hunt to try to find some extra value, but wasn't expecting Jemkin up top. Ends up falling, and RRQ widely managed to go ahead and take the bonus for themselves in fairly clean fashion.
Yeah, looking really nice. Able to get some big kills. Nice little coordination there with the Thrash. Find a couple angles, a couple big kills. And they're able to just identify a player behind the box, isolate, take him out, and then not much for Meteor to do there. Jemkin just waiting with open arms. Texture Bladestorm. One away from his own is Jemkin, but
he went from 12-8 to 17-9, so I think he's back on it. Texture now on the hunt. Jemkin, oh yeah, crouching at the perfect time. Karen in the meantime, however, able to find Elmi Moore. Killjoy now eliminated, and Lakia escorted into a very far forward position, watching that A-main approach. Sparrow going on a lurk. Here's that movement, able to strike. Munchkin going to be cut off there on the rotate. Now that's going to force Gen.G out towards that attacker spawn. This Meteor, oh man, nearly flushed out of this one. Take it so very low, swings back out, finds one. Eventually does fall. Sparrow trying to hold that back line. One kill, but now it's all on Texture and Lakia.
Last player.
As the swing up comes in, Lakia shuts down GEN.G. Estrella, the newfound IGL here for the team. In a 1v2, Texture at 10 HP. Can he clutch it out? Noise cut.
One enemy
Approaching,
remaining.
but he checks through.
Out of charges.
Catching Lakia, and that leaves him with a massive advantage. Texture just down below. Weapon not spotted, but he creeps in underneath and behind, and Texture will be able to close it out.
Man, oh man, this looked so good for RRQ off the rip. They seemingly read Meteor's position, but they don't get the kill. And then he steps out and causes all kinds of chaos. Karon on the other side, finding some impact. Texture able to just barely get his kill. That is nasty from Lakia.
Just quick adjustments, and Texture remembering to look up. The boy's back, and he is happy. Able to play Duelist again at long last. I mean, Meteor, for those who aren't in the know, he gave up his Duelist spot on this team to Texture because he wanted this team around him.
You can see why. It's really good. GEN.G with blades. Sparrow does have a pit if they can get to it. So they've got rifles. Otherwise, some extra money in the back pocket. GEN.G's economy, on the other hand, is pretty dire other than Munchkin.
It's been a little bit brutal. Consistent kills coming in. Not allowing him to really bank up anything. Wingman now going to be going forward. Pit invested as well. Sparrow really wanting to convert this round. Now Nanoswarm's going to get set up. Swinging around, though, is Meteor. He's coming around the backside of Yellow. Hit is going to prevent him from seeing much of anything, though, but trying to fight forward, able to find Karon. Snaps over the side, takes down Texture. Pulls back, goes for the reload. GEN.G there to try to protect. Flipshotter now finding himself a third. Meteor gone. Lock, however, able to put an end to that reign of terror, but the man advantage is still very much here in the hands of RRQ. Not wanting GEN.G to get up to double digits quite just yet. Sparrow with another, taking down Munchkin. Straight out will be the finisher coming out from mid. And RRQ keep things nice and tight.
Absolutely. A great push, great angle to set up for that Viper's Pit, just enough to cover that plant. Not really able to disrupt it is GEN.G. Those post plants so tricky to deal with. Flips just pushed up, heard the shots from Karon, moved up to keep him off guard. Did a nice job, picks up 3 in the round for it. That wingman debates him a little bit. But still, very good stuff. And now you still have some key ultimates available on the side of RRQ. Saw Hunter's Fury in there for Estrella. And at 9-9. This is certainly going to be a good one, feels like. I mean, everybody fighting tooth and nail, knowing what's at stake, knowing how limited the opportunities are going to be.
Yeah, I mean, even though, I mean, obviously the core of RRQ, very much the same. GEN.G, the kind of, the one new addition coming through. Meteor, the only mainstay from GEN.G. But either way, everybody on these two teams has now inherited this rivalry from last year. GEN.G wanting to keep up appearances with new head coach Solo there in the booth, wanting to be able to deliver a third shutdown to RRQ's hopes.
Yeah. It's tough, man. I mean, RRQ certainly had revenge on the mind. I'm sure as soon as they saw this matchup come through, they were chomping at the bit to see if they can do what they could not last season. Let's get a win against GEN.G. Lakia has the thrash, so does Flips. A lot of info given over here.
Maybe not sure if that was meant to try to clear out early util or if it was an oopsie on the shock dart there. Either way, though, drone to try to escort forward. Straight getting the dart out there onto Meteor. He'll back away. Push darts coming through. GEN.G spotting him for a brief little moment. Sees 2. Noting them now over towards screens. GEN.G just working their way over as the mosh pit going to be thrown down, and that interrupts that plan. And now sent out, Dizzy connecting. GEN.G having the drop down. Hunter's Fury crashing across. Elmy Moore pushing up. Looking for the target. Ooh, what a snappy headshot. Gives himself a second. Munchkin is able to find one with the classic, but that's as good as it's going to get here. RRQ, the weapon advantage, push forward aggressively. They managed to tie us up 9-9.
Yeah, and obviously it's tough. You're on the eco. You know, you're so outgunned. It's very difficult to get something going in that situation, and they had to rotate quick over. Tried to all just make it go from the screens in the back of sight, and really well covered. Just chasing down Texture there. No problemo. Now, Operator, Texture very, very good with it. Very consistent.
I mean, honestly, the other big thing is that Estrella, he did commit the Hunter's Fury there, and you have that lockdown now in the back pocket here for Meteor, so
True.
clearing it out is going to be very difficult. They have to rely on, you know, a lot of different lineups. The Mosh Pit potentially there from Flipside to try to catch it. As Texture very far forward, now turns his sights over towards Garage. Estrella lurking up into that position. The drone will chase Texture away for the time being.
Still leaning over towards the A site with this spike. It's going to be Locky on point of contact, yeah.
Saw enough there. It's going to be the back away, and the rotate now coming in from Munchkin. Lockdown used preemptively. So the wingman is there to go for the plant, so they can grab this one, and now they have that slightly delayed, but
Spike
with the the spike getting interrupted, plant not coming through, so still plenty of time to work with here for GEN.G. Just pushing up far enough to try to grab the spike, seemingly impossible here for RRQ in that little window of opportunity that they had. Right now coming through, there's a full flash coming in as Texture not quite connecting with the shot. Meteor not realizing that Estrella was still going to be pushing forward. Gemkin now puts Munchkin down. They lost only more in the process, but Locky going to be taken out by Xfero. Rez, unlikely. Texture nearly finding himself another collab. Cleans up one, but still everything for him to do. The Thrash on the hunt. Time dwindling. Spike needs to be planted. And Texture, he might be able to ruin their day, but no. Flipshider catches him in the head, and RRQ will once again take the lead.
It's phenomenal movement there from Texture. Dodges the Thrash, able to avoid the backstab from Estrella earlier, keeping track of it and getting above RRQ where they're not expecting it, and yet still RRQ able to react. Snappy, snappy stuff from them. Elmi Moore and others. Jemkin, of course, looking very, very good. Xfero as well, really feeling it. So you gotta like what you're seeing from RRQ. Is finally seemingly start to come together as Gen.G once again going to be put on an eco now. They've been pretty decent on ecos here on this map. But on the defender side, maybe a bit of a different story.
Two closeouts there, but Texture going to be punished nice and early, and that was the heaviest investment they had. The Guardian shut down very swiftly. As you can see, everybody kind of drifting forward, trying to take that forward space in A. It's Meteor trying to hold things down from Kitchen and Tube, and he absolutely will. 2 kills for him, and that's exactly how Gen.G continue to get these thrifty round wins.
What is that, Meteor? That isn't fair. I mean, you got the Dizzy right in your face. Just ridiculous.
Oh, do they know? Yes, they do.
God.
Estrella now taken down. Munchkin wanting a piece of the action. Finds the kill. Spike still all the way back here outside of A main. Elmi Moore gets himself into a forward position. But he is going to have to be the one that slams the door in Gen.G's faces if RRQ want to stop this from getting tied again. Moved up. A decent spot. Close angle needing to be cleared. Elmi Moore finding one. Sliding out now, but you can see the pings coming down. Gen.G having a very good idea of where he's at. He cannot get the follow-up shot. Xfero now left all on his lonesome in a 1v3. They're lined up for him just a bit, but can't kill Lockyer fast enough to try to get the transfer. Munchkin with a recovered weapon will put him down, and Gen.G will keep it neck and neck.
Unbelievable. These ecos from Gen.G are just fantastic. I mean, didn't you say it earlier that they should just use sheriffs?
Yep. Just, you know.
I think you may be onto something.
We'll take a look back.
I want
here
to see
at
this.
Meteor's
This is
POV.
Yeah, after the Dizzy is the one I want to see. Oh, he hits it and then repeaks. Disgusting.
Just basically right under the Dizzy bubble. Estrella just showing that shoulder. It's enough to get him punished. 2 very crucial kills into the finisher there from Munchkin to pick up 3. Gen.G not going quietly into the very late night. You can see, despite the delays and everything like that, everybody in this lobby is wide awake.
For sure. Once again, trying to get that operator to get some value for Texture. Early util plus pickup of the orb. If there's any more comes out, should kind of give it away. Yeah, here you go, executes on.
Guard goes out, Dizzy as well, but really being noted, Gen.G in a fairly disconnected position. Now likely going to be trying to clear out that wingman. The Nano Swarm is going, and that's going to be the spike once again interrupted. Still timing's just working out very well here for the side of Gen.G. Not allowing for Flips to just get those easy free plants down. Now he's got to push up and recover it. Sees the Nano coming through, backs away. Still time available to RRQ if they want to go for a rotate, and they still have Elmimore in a very laid-back position outside of A main. That 0 point's got to tell all.
They're just keeping their feet planted, waiting to try to figure out a way that they can get through. They have to wait for the toxic screen to come up.
All going, no timing shot there from Texture. Had he actually gone for it, would have been rewarded with a kill onto Estrella. And they go working their way forward. Sparrow able to find one, but quickly traded back. Texture finding the elimination. Spike still in hand, but now going to have to be stuck to this plant. Meteor dropping down off the top. Texture finding Jemkin. Now it's all on Flips and Elmimore. Full flash on a Meteor, but they just don't know it. Flips can't try to go for the swing out. Just eating that team flash as they try to go ahead and get the 50 on him, and they will be able to do just that. Texture with 3 with the operator as Gen.G once again working their way into a lead.
Maybe just a little bit too static. You can see this from both teams on their attacker side, where sometimes they're just really tunneled on committing to a certain side of the map. And you know, with the toxic screen there, you feel like you kind of have to use that to get your approach to get to the spike. And Gen.G does a great job adjusting. They were having a little bit of trouble dealing with the wingman plants earlier in this half. Now not so much. Great flash. Again, Munchkin having some impact with that KO. Or just a friendly reminder, he doesn't play it very much. Some of those flashes, especially earlier on, that one he had around yellow was ridiculous.
Well, it's going to be the final timeout call here from RRQ. Rock trying to pump the brakes and reassess what's going wrong at the moment here on this attack. Again, this is their map pick, so they don't want Icebox to get away from them.
Yeah, I mean, I think ideally you want to spread the map a little bit more. Try not to overcommit some of that utility, because